Hi everyone, welcome to the shack for this video for the 33rd weekend since the initiation of lockdown in the UK back at the end of March. And well, life's gone full circle. Here we are now, and there's a new lockdown for a period of a month here in the UK. I suppose we saw it coming, or most of us saw it coming. That doesn't make it feel any better, but just goes to show 33 weeks later, we're still in almost as big a mess as we were when this started earlier in the year. So I hope and I think I'm right in saying that these update videos, you guys are still enjoying them. They still seem to garner more views than any of the other videos I put on YouTube, which is a good sign, of course. You know, these videos are still typically reaching sort of 400 or 500 views, which is great. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch them. Obviously, I hope that you enjoy them and that potentially you can get something more out of them. As I said before, I'll continue doing them, and part of the reason for that is because I think you guys enjoy them, but at the same time, with the particularly now with another lockdown, there's going to be more time spent in the shack than ever, it would seem. There's a list of reasons that you can go out of the house for, a specific list of reasons, to go shopping, to go to work, to do exercise, just go and support somebody in a bubble, go and provide some care, but otherwise you're supposed to stay at home. So, you know, as we've been saying all along, you know, that we're lucky, we're fortunate, I suppose, in some respects, that we have a hobby that, unless you live in a very, very noisy environment, is perfect really for being stuck at home. And I'm pretty sure that the state of my mind, my mental health, is better for having been involved in our hobby this past 6 or 8 months, whatever it is, than if not. So, you know, we have to be appreciative of that. Excuse me while my phone stand nearly collapsed. There we go. So, this weekend, you are looking at 3 classic Panasonic receivers. On top, on the left, is the RF-B40, and then to the right is the RF-B65, and then below is the RF-3100L, otherwise known as the DR31. So 2 Panasonic portables and a Panasonic desktop radio. And some of you will be familiar with these radios. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with them. And many of you will know that I own these radios, particularly the B65 and the 3100L. What I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going to, and this is at the request of more than one subscriber, I'm going to make some direct comparisons between these radios. Just because I can, because I've been asked to do this. And I suppose it is of interest. When you actually look at the physical form of these radios, you've got 2 thin, small portables, and you've got a very large desktop radio, which is probably, you know, a dozen times bigger, maybe more. But what's the performance like? Now, actually, I'm tuned. I've just got these 2 radios running on the telescopic. This is 743R. I don't know what station it is. I haven't looked it up, but that's the sort of very full audio on the 3100L. And the same on the RF-B65. And that is actually without the antenna fully extended. Well, there you go. I think that speaks volumes straight away before even having done a test. I suppose, to be fair, these are radios from slightly different eras. The desktop, the RF-3100L, was produced between 1982 and 1985. The RF-B65 was produced between 89 and 92, and the RF-B40, which was quite short-lived, was only produced from 89 to 90. Now, I bought this radio 30 years ago on a whim. I was aware that it only had 5 kilohertz tuning steps, which meant that in terms of selectivity, it was limited. And I don't know why I bought it really, other than it was probably a bit of a waste of time. This was the radio that I actually wanted, but it was it was too expensive. It was quite a lot more expensive. Now I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was more expensive, quite a lot more expensive, but a much better performing radio. The RF-B40, common in the United States, not very common in Europe. I gave this radio to my brother in about 1998 because I was moving house and I'd already bought a Sony ICF 7600G. Actually, this isn't the actual one because I eBayed that radio, but I gave the RF-B40 to my brother because I bought one of these basically, which was a much better radio. This isn't the actual one. This is the one that the guy I met in the Brazilian jungle actually gave me. He had it for 20 years, moved house, lost it, and then when I got back into radio a couple of years ago, I asked him if he was still using it, and he couldn't remember where it was, but he actually found it and gave it back to me last year. And it is quite sensitive, but not very selective. But I think in terms of a three-way test, it would be potentially quite interesting. So I'm going to include the RF-B40 and basically compare the three Panasonics between them. To make it fair, I'm going to use my top band end-fed wire as the antenna because I can't connect my Wellbrook loop to the desktop, to the 3100L very easily at all. So I'm going to use basically a long wire, but I'm going to match it. A matched long wire. I'm going to match it using my MFJ 949E. And we'll see what happens. I mean, what I might also do is I've been using my Sangean ATS 909X up there. Radio much maligned actually in terms of its performance on the telescopic, but still a very good radio with a long wire. I suppose of the three, of the three Panasonics. And then the other portable, really, the RF-B65, this one here, is the one with the kind of almost legendary status, much smaller than a Sony ICF 2001D or 2010, but believed to be, or has a reputation of having basically the same sensitivity as that legendary Sony, but not quite as good selectivity because it doesn't have synchronous detection and it doesn't have audio filtering options. What it does have though is SSB, which obviously can be very helpful in certain circumstances when you're trying to separate signals that are close. No doubt one of the best portables of all time, but still basically flawed in that respect. So an interesting test. And certainly there's a couple of guys who follow the channel who will be very, very interested to see what the results are. I think basically we probably already know the RF-B65 is going to outperform the other two, even just based on what we've just heard here. But let's do some tests, gather some recordings, and I'll post them at some point, probably next week now. But I will definitely do that. So the other thing that I have been doing of late is I've been DXing with the ELAD FDM Duo in standalone mode. Brilliant radio, almost perfect, apart from very, very shoddy audio when using it in that way, because the internal speaker is literally terrible. But so sensitive, particularly when used with the Wellbrook loop. And I've been, as you guys know, I've been trying to copy one of the Mongolian transmissions on Longwave, and I actually got a carrier on 164 kilohertz last night. but no audio, which is the kind of the usual thing really, although even the carrier is hard to come by. This is the signal on 270 kHz from the Czech Republic, which is actually ququite big.
Rusko tvrdí, že jeho vakcína Sputnik V bude prvním přípravkem dostupným na běžném trhu. Izraelská nemocnice očekává první dodávky za 2 až 3 měsíce. Ruskou vakcínu už objednala řada dalších zemí, většinou ze třetího světa. Detaily má náš blízkovýchodní zpravodaj.
Got a 9 kHz filter bandwidth there, but let's go to 189 and I've got just some audio from Iceland. You can see the signal there on 189. So anyway, so I'm going to carry on doing that. I've been trying to copy audio from Mongolia for very irregularly, but for 3 years probably. And I think I explained before, I've never done it. Tudor in Romania has done it, and it is still sort of one of the holy grails of DXing. So, and the ELAD is a great radio to do this, because even though I have the SDR Play, various versions of the SDR Play, and the software is very good, the fact that you can use an ELAD as a radio, it is still of benefit, to actually be able to sit in front of it and twiddle the knobs, which is something that I like to do. And I wish SDR Player, if they could build something similar to an ELAD which can be used in a standalone mode, that would be an absolute winner. I need to mention it to John Hudson. In fact, I think I have mentioned to John Hudson that I would very much like him to design a radio that can be used in that way, as a, not necessarily as a portable, but and he said it was also a very good idea, but very sort of difficult to sort of design and manufacture at a reasonable cost that would sell in enough volume to make the whole thing worthwhile, which is a bit of a shame. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been tracking Radio Tama in Peru on 4775 kilohertz. I've been tracking Radio San Antonio in Peru on 4940 kilohertz. I always track Radio Difusora Roraima and Radio Club de Para, as you guys know, Radio Voz Missionaria, and of late I've been tracking Radio Education from Mexico City on 6185 kilohertz. Got a little bit of audio from them in the early hours of this morning, which is actually quite rare. I've copied audio many times previously, but it's very, very difficult to do that in indoors, even with an external antenna. You really need to go to a very, very sort of quiet environment and with a good antenna, and then you'll hear audio. Obviously I've heard them well when I've been traveling, etc., but that's sort of cheating really. So I'm going to listen out for them. I think it's been a while actually since I uploaded and published a video of their signal, so definitely overdue. And the fact that I heard a little bit of audio from here this morning, in the early hours this morning, was actually made me feel quite hopeful that that I can possibly achieve it. So which is nice. The other thing, of course, is the studying that I'm doing for the full license, and I'm getting moaned at by by club members that I kind of like need to sort of really get on with it and take the exam, and I am about to book it, but I don't know whether any of you are studying for the same exam or not. I'm guessing that it's possible, given that I've got about 4,000 subscribers. But one of the club members, the secretary of the, I think she's the secretary of the club, she sent me a link to the YouTube channel for the Cornish Amateur Radio Club, and they have it's a training channel, and basically what they've produced is a set of training videos for the full license, which covers everything. Starting actually with choosing a calculator, how to use a calculator, and then going through basically the syllabus: EMF, potential difference, resistors, potential dividers, caps, various videos on receivers, transmitters, advanced bipolar transistors, basically everything on the syllabus. Now, the one issue with this is that this is actually the old syllabus, but there is a huge amount of crossover. So rather than read the book yet again and forget it, I'm spending time watching these videos, and at the moment I'm on Advanced Receivers D, and I've got to say, these videos, they really are excellent. I can't knock them, and I'm already picking up stuff that has just literally gone in one ear and out the other. So, for example, intermodulation products are likely to be twice the IF frequency displaced from the signal, from the wanted signal, all that kind of stuff that I was struggling to remember. And there is quite a lot to remember for the advanced course, no doubt. I was only saying today, actually, that when I did the foundation course and when I did the intermediate course, without wishing to basically be big-headed about this, just being honest, I found them basically so straightforward that I knew that I was going to pass when I actually when I walked into the exam room. I basically knew I was going to pass, and which is a good feeling because I've done a lot of work, did a lot of revision, etc. I don't get the same sense at the moment with the full license. I think that it's very likely that I will pass, but I don't have that kind of feeling of surety that I'm definitely going to pass this. And I'm the sort of person that when I do something, I want to do it right. So anyway, but having said that, when I book the exam, it'll be about a month away, so I'll still have another 4 weeks to do some studying, etc. And hopefully all will be good. But yeah, I just thought it worth showing you guys these training videos on YouTube from the Cornish Amateur Radio Club. Brilliant, really good, and very useful. Very useful anyway. Just if you've already got a full license and you want to refresh, brilliant. Really a really excellent training resource, and hats off to them for doing that. And you can tell that a lot of work has gone into these videos. You can tell from the actual quality of the production quality on them. Really superb. Yeah, I'm very grateful to that club for having done that. So that is about it. I'm doing the Harwell LF Sked later, and I'm going to be using low power and see whether I can be heard or not. And then otherwise, I'm going to spend the weekend testing these old Panasonic radios and possibly comparing them to the 909X, possibly some other radios if I get the time. So I hope you enjoy all of that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I wish you good DX, and everybody keep safe. This whole COVID thing is a complete nightmare, but everybody keep safe, and no doubt we'll catch up again with the comments on the Oxford Shortwave Log YouTube channel. So there you go, there's the current view. Getting dark, pretty cold today. Actually, it was pretty cold this morning, but this afternoon it warmed up to about 16 degrees. Winter is coming, so we can all thank our lucky stars that we have the perfect hobby to be stuck in. So it's all good. All right, well, thanks for watching. 7-3.